Live from Southwest Florida's news leader, this is Wink News This Morning.
Well, we're off to a cool start this morning. Cold morning tomorrow morning. Freeze warnings in effect all across Southwest Florida. I have the details on how cold it gets tonight coming up.
It's a very early stage of this investigation, and we don't want to give any incorrect information. We're going to be out here for a while.
A death investigation and no answers from deputies. Coming up on Wink News This Morning at 6, we're live with the latest you need to know.
My kids, just like yours, they go through a lot of tests during this school year, but that might change.
It's good to always look at what you're doing and always try to improve, and that's what we're doing with this.
Governor Rick Scott's ready to push to shake up the future of school tests. So ahead at 6, what he wants to do to help your kids learn in the classroom.
Plus, you've heard of people that can name a tune by hearing only a few notes. But all new at 6, meet the man who solves a 17-letter puzzle with just one letter.
I don't know what it is.
We were both caught going, what is that? Oh my
that
gosh. Good morning. It is Thursday, February 19th. I'm Jen Stacy.
And I'm Rob Spicker. Glad you're with us for Wink News this morning at 6 o'clock. We'll figure out that puzzle a little later. First, it is chilly outside as you wake up. Later today, you might need the heat. Let's get you over to Wink News meteorologist Joey Sovine. With all that and our first weather on the ones.
Yeah, good morning, guys. And a wind chill advisory up for this morning. This is just a little taste of what's to come over the next 24 hours here in Southwest Florida, our coldest shot of the entire winter. Notice how temperatures for us here have cooled off 12 degrees since yesterday morning at this time. We still have a long ways to go, another 12, 15 degrees before we bottom out in this cool spell. Right now at 50, 60s yesterday morning. 30s likely widespread by tomorrow morning here in Southwest Florida with a clear sky that will continue, and that will set the stage for a very chilly morning. Here's the latest run of our computer model showing temperatures widespread in the 30s. Some inland spots will likely dip down to or below freezing tomorrow morning. That's why we have freeze warnings up. They go into effect at 1 o'clock in the morning and continue through 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, right around sunrise, the coldest time, as we do expect some inland areas to drop below freezing. Once again, that is tomorrow morning. It will be chilly this morning. Little taste once again of what's to come. 44 at 7 o'clock, up in the upper 40s by 9 o'clock. A slow climb today, a chilly day, highs only reaching 60 with a lot of sunshine. We'll look ahead to when our warmer temperatures will arrive coming up at 6:11. Therese?
We'll be holding our breath till those warmer temperatures get here. Thanks, Joey. Looking quiet on the roads, though, to start you off now at 6:02. Looking through Fort Myers, very quiet out here. Colonial Boulevard is one of our busier spots out here, passing through I-75 in the westbound direction towards 6 Mile Cypress, Ortez Avenue. Daniels Parkway getting busier near the interstate as well. And we do have some construction sticking around now through the 6 o'clock hour. We've had construction zones out here for the past several weeks, but this morning the right lane closed off from mile marker 154 to 157. So we'll take a live look at that area, show you what's closed off and what it looks like on the roads in just a bit. That's your Wink News traffic. Robin, Jen?
Well, this morning, Wink News is pressing for answers in an ongoing death investigation at Lehigh Acres.
Lee County deputies are still on the scene in the 100 block of John Avenue and are now working with Major Crimes Unit. Wink News reporter John Trewiler is live in Lehigh with the details for us this morning. John?
Yeah, Jen, Rob, good morning to you. Well, you can see right here behind us in this 100 block of John Avenue South. It's still pretty active out here. Lots of deputies out here and the major crime scene unit detectives from the Lee County Sheriff's Office. And this entire stretch of John Avenue is actually still blocked off. Lee County deputies been out here really for the entire night and going to be here probably for much of the morning and day as they investigate this crime that happened out here. It all originally started about 10 o'clock last night. That's when deputies got the call out here for a suspicious person in this area. Upon their arrival out here, their initial discovery, they ended up changing this to a death investigation for a deceased person out here. Of course, we don't know exactly who that person is yet or exactly how they died, but we are working to find that out for you this morning. Deputies also asking for the public's help out here this morning. If you saw anything, give them a call at 1-800-780-TIPS. We are live in Lehigh Acres today. John Trewiler, Wink News This Morning.
Right now, a missing man could be in your neighborhood. Please take a moment to look at your screen. Collier County deputies need your help finding 24-year-old John Litonen. He was last seen leaving his Wildwood Lakes Boulevard home Tuesday night. Family members are worried that he might hurt himself. He is 6 feet tall, 2 inches, weighs 250 pounds, and has brown hair and hazel eyes. He was last seen driving a white 4-door Geo Prism with Florida tag 503QJB. Call the Collier County Sheriff's Office at 239-252-9300 if you have any information. Today, many of us, not just here in Florida, but across the whole country, will experience some of the coldest temperatures of the season.
If your car's going to start, you never know if something's going to break at your house from the cold.
Here in the Sunshine State, citrus growers are pretty worried as they prepare for a potential freeze. Places like Nashville and Charlotte could deal with temperatures 25 to 35 below zero with wind chills. Unfortunately, more storms are on the way, bringing snow and ice to the Mid-South and Northeast this weekend.
They cannot see the end of this coming.
Not good for them.
It's at 6:05 for you right now. There is more support to increase the minimum wage. New Associated Press GFK poll that's just out today finds 60% of Americans support higher pay. They also support employer-provided sick days. 2/3 of Americans are saying companies should be paying employees for parental leave as well after the birth of a baby. But 72% are saying President Obama's policies are not doing enough to help the middle class. Today, the search for the root causes of violent extremism will continue. President Obama will help to close out the counter-extremism summit at the White House. The president says the U.S. is not at war with Islam, but with those who have corrupted the religion. Coming up at 6:30, tell you how the critics are saying poverty is not addressing the philosophy of terror groups like ISIS.
Ahead of a potential 2016 White House run, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush made his first major foreign policy speech. Bush made an appearance in Chicago on Wednesday, criticizing President Obama's foreign policies, as well as his brother George Bush's administration for mistakes in Iraq. The 62-year-old Republican said that his views about our country's place will be compared with his brother's and his father's, but he says he is his own man.
Our words and actions must match so that the entire world knows that we say what we mean and mean what we say. There should be no gap there. This administration talks, but the words fade.
A new CBS News poll finds 49% of Republicans say they would vote for Bush if he ran for president. Democrats say they would most likely support Hillary Clinton.
When talking to students and parents and teachers, they're saying that we did too much testing.
Governor Rick Scott is in favor of putting all of our kids through fewer tests. He's going to be pushing an executive order that suspends one of these standardized tests for Florida's 11th graders, and he expects state lawmakers to eliminate even more tests during the legislative session this spring. Governor Scott's push is right after the statewide investigation has shown time dedicated to state-mandated testing has increased.
Whether it's our K-12 system, whether it's our universities or state colleges, I want when students finish that they're ready for a career.
And while the governor does want to reduce the testing this year, new standards that require students not only know a fact, but be able to apply them in a real-world setting go into effect.
Parents, this summer will not be a bummer. Thanks to Dr. Seuss, you can help put your kids' reading skills to some very good use.
The iconic author is once again hitting the shelves with a book you haven't seen yet. It's called What Pet Should I Get? Random House Children's Book says it's publishing Dr. Seuss's recently discovered manuscript July the 28th. So you might want to hurry up and go ahead and reserve your place for one.
A new Dr. Seuss.
That's
How
great.
exciting. This will be big news in my house.
Well, they're great books for young readers.
They are wonderful.
Yeah.
You are watching Southwest Florida's most watched morning news, Wink News This Morning.
You can see what we're dealing with. The Wink News meteorologist Joey Silvine's back to plan your day with our next Weather on the Ones. It's 6:08.
Wink weather on the ones.
You're not even here on the coldest night of the year.
There's a song for everything.
There
right?
is, and
Wow.
that's going to be pretty appropriate. We are headed into the coldest night of the year, probably the coldest night we've had in quite some time.
Yeah, it could potentially be one of the colder mornings in about the past 5 years.
Oh my, okay.
Whoa.
There's some indication. Yeah, it's going to be chilly. Good news is this is a very short-lived. Yesterday we got a lot of questions asking, I know we had some fish issues back in 2010. A lot of people asking about snook and the population. This is not one of those types of cool spells, so don't worry about that. This is not a prolonged stretch of cold weather. This is just really a one-day thing that we're going to have to deal with tomorrow morning. This morning, it is cool. In fact, we do have a wind chill advisory up, but we've been as cool as this previous morning so far this winter. Tomorrow morning's the big story because temperatures could drop to or below freezing in some backyards, especially along and east of I-75. Close to the coast, I think we stay above freezing tomorrow morning. Here are the records in jeopardy, though. 36 Fort Myers, 39 89 degrees. Notice both of those in 1960, and it looks like both of those could fall by tomorrow morning. Temperatures this morning now down to 37 degrees in Lehigh Acres. There are some chilly spots, especially inland. Notice it's a little bit warmer closer to the coast. What's happened this morning is we have a light onshore wind. In fact, you can see in the feels like temperatures, everybody above 35 degrees, wind chill advisories in effect for the potential that wind chill to drop down below 35 degrees this morning. Here's that wind mainly out of the north and northwest, and it has a little bit of a moderating effect with the Gulf of Mexico water temperature sitting in the 60s right now. But watch what happens tomorrow morning. Our wind direction shifts a little bit more offshore, so that allows the cold air really to settle in pretty close to the coast tomorrow morning. So the exception being the beaches, everyone else looks like we could be well down into the 30s, and that's why a freeze warning is in effect for all areas of Southwest Florida. That's tonight and tomorrow morning. I'll show you those low temperatures in just a second. High temperatures today struggle to climb despite a lot of sunshine. We only make it up on average to around 60 degrees this afternoon, and it will be a very breezy day. Here's tomorrow morning's lows, and notice some spots inland dipping down to close to 30 degrees. May see one or two spots in the upper 20s tomorrow morning, right around 40 at the beaches. We do start our warm up a little bit tomorrow afternoon, 65, go up to 77 Saturday. How about Sunday? High temperatures at 83 degrees.
6:14 right now, and a live look to start you off now at the 155, 156 mile marker, still south of Tucker's Grade, where we've been telling you about that construction since the early morning out there. It is sticking around for your 6 o'clock hour, unfortunately. So up through that area of Charlotte County, still seeing some northbound slight delays as people are making their way into the left lane because of that right lane blockage. Down the rest of 75, we're quiet, and out onto the alley should be an easy ride toward the East Coast this morning if that's part of your plans for your Thursday. But out here on 41, we've also got some construction going on in North Naples. This is 41 at Immokalee Road, just north of the Immokalee Road area in the right southbound lane, that closure in that out there. We did just get a crash in South Fort Myers. We'll tell you what's going on out there coming up in about 10 minutes. That's your weekdays traffic. Jen, back to you.
Here's a story you may have missed while you were sleeping. The city of Ferguson, Missouri, and its police force could be at the center of a legal battle with the Justice Department. Overnight, we learned the DOJ is prepared to bring a lawsuit against officers for tactics allegedly targeting minorities. This comes after a federal investigation into Michael Brown's August death. Details are expected to outline a pattern of discrimination tactics in the Ferguson Police Department and a push for reform.
In about 3.5 hours from now, the surviving Boston Marathon bombing suspect will ask to move his trial out of Massachusetts City again. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev says keeping his trial in Boston just makes it impossible to find an impartial jury. His lawyers, they're going to ask actually a federal appeals court to step in and make this decision, since they've asked the state judge 3 times already. Tsarnaev's defense team says that in Boston, too many people have connections to the deadly 2013 marathon bombings. The 21-year-old is facing the possibility of the death penalty if he gets convicted.
If you can, take a moment to look at your screen. This is some new video just into our newsroom of a major refinery explosion in California. ExxonMobil officials say 4 contractors were injured while trying to run away from Wednesday's blast. A huge smokestack flare could be seen for miles. Ash came down from the sky, covering cars and buildings. Caltech says the explosion was so powerful it was the equivalent of a 1.7 magnitude earthquake. Some brand new details in a story that hits close to home here in the news industry. That San Diego sportscaster who was shot outside of his own home is now out of the hospital. He's recovering at his house. Mike Montana pleaded not guilty to shooting Kraska 9 days ago. Doctors released Kyle Kraska overnight after multiple surgeries and 4 days in a medically induced coma.
We're at 6:16, and there's good news for Bonita Springs. A $16 million project might even bring more business in. Bonita Springs is working with Lee County on a $16 million project. It's going to beautify landscaping, streetscaping, and sidewalks. All the work done from Dean to Terry Street, as well as bridges at the Imperial River and Oak Creek Bridge. So far, this project is 60% approved. And finally, after years of construction, the new ramp that connects I-75 to Southwest Florida International Airport is ready to open. Governor Rick Scott says that next month's opening is going to happen early March. It's a $54 million project, Direct Connect, that got started back in 2012. An estimated 15,000 cars are expected to use that new connector every day once it opens next month.
The next time you see a game at Hammond Stadium, you'll be treated to some upgrades. There's some room for 1,300 more fans. That's just one part of the $48 million renovation at CenturyLink Sports Complex. Also added, a walkway on the back side of the stadium, some new concession stands, and upgraded locker and weight rooms for the Minnesota Twins players. The grand opening for the public is coming up this Sunday. They've been working hard, and it sounds like it's pretty incredible.
The smaller ballparks, just a great place to see baseball. You're up close, a little more personal.
It's a great place for kids to go and hang out with moms and dads, learn about the game. Absolutely. We're lucky to have it here.
Be here soon.
Well, Weekly News meteorologist Joey Sovine is watching our forecast. He's going to update us on the cold weather here in Southwest Florida.
All right. Also, can you get this clue? All new this morning at 6, you'll meet the man who got this puzzle solved with just that one letter, the T, on the board. Think about it. It's 6:18, and we'll be right back.
Wink weather on the ones.
Welcome back and good Thursday morning to you. Off to a chilly start this morning. Gets much colder by tomorrow morning. Get ready for it, but out the door for the kids this morning. Make sure they are dressed warmly. Round one of what will be a 2-round cool down here in Southwest Florida. 44 degrees in Port Charlotte right now. We're at 50 in Marco Island. Some inland spots here east of I-75. You're starting to drop into the upper 30s. It will be about 10 degrees colder tomorrow morning all across the area. So that puts a lot of you in the 30s, maybe a couple spots in the upper 20s. Today, look at our day planner. The lack of warmth all day long. 40s to start out, only 50s by lunchtime. And that's where we'll hang out through the afternoon. See a high temperature around 60 degrees, but that's only about 6 minutes this afternoon. So most of the day will be spent in the 50s. And notice the breeze up. So heads up, boater small craft advisories up for today. Northwest wind at 20 to 25 knots, rolling as high as 8 feet offshore this morning. Seeing some buoys closer to the coast at 5.5 feet this morning. So it's rough out there in the Gulf of Mexico. Small craft advisories. That's why they are rough. So stay off the water for today. Gets better this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to take the boat. You want to hop in the car, turn the heat on as quickly as you can the next couple of days. Yeah, for sure. If you can, why not? Getting out on the roads right now, we do have our first 2 crashes of the morning now popping up within the past 10 minutes. So let's take you out toward the border here of Gateway and Lehigh Acres, State Road 82 and Daniels Parkway. Crash just coming in out here. So if you're heading along this stretch where Daniels starts to turn into Gunnery to head north through Lehigh, just keep in mind you'll see a delay out there. Over into South Fort Myers, crash here as well at College Parkway in 41. Pretty busy spot along 41, especially as we're getting farther into the morning drive. Not hearing anything about roadblock right now, but you do see some slight delays here heading westbound on College towards Summerlin. Toward Cape Coral, quiet out here. Nothing going on in the Cape as far as any delays or incidents right now. So if you're crossing the bridges in and out of Fort Myers through Cape Coral, should take an easy couple minutes in each direction right now. Same thing on our bridges in and out of downtown Fort Myers. That's your Wake News traffic. Jen, Rob, back to you.
In 2 days, you and your family can take part in a 2-hour extravaganza at one of the largest night parades in Florida.
This year's Edison Festival of Light Parade is going to have more than 140 lighted floats. Some of your kids' friends from their school's marching bands as well. So where's Wink now? Wink News reporter Stephanie Suskind. She's live at 6:24 with that answer. Good morning.
Good morning, Rob and Jen. Right now we are at the Sam Galloway Ford dealership in Fort Myers. I'll tell you a little bit more about why we're here this morning in just a minute, but first we want to get to all of those details, especially the very exciting parade Saturday night. Joining me with that information, Ted Fitzgeorge with the Edison Festival of Light. And Ted, you are the man with everything we need to know.
Well, I don't know about that, Stephanie. I do know it's a little chilly for us Florida Gators today. We both got our gloves on and we're ready to go. It is our big weekend. We work hard all year. We had our junior parade last Sunday, but this weekend is the grand parade. 77 years celebrating Thomas Edison here in Southwest Florida, and we're just thrilled to have Wink be a part of it. Of course, you and Jacoby coming out and helping us out. The big trailer behind us, as you said, we're going to talk about a bit later on this morning. It's very exciting. It'll be here at Sam Galloway all day long today, and we want folks to come on out and visit, and you'll hear more. But also this weekend, we've got our 5K run. We've got our parade day party. We've got the Mutt Strut on Sunday. We've got the Classic Car Show on Sunday as well. We've got fireworks. We've got live music. Chasing Dallas will be on the stage on Saturday evening before the parade comes through. Your old friend Jim McLaughlin and I will be doing the parade on Saturday evening, and I always look forward to that. 77 years of celebrating Thomas Edison, Fort Myers' most famous resident, and we look forward to this every year, and we're Joey promised me. I talked to him earlier. He promised me the weekend is going to be perfect. A little chilly this morning, but it'll be back up near 80 for the weekend, and we're very excited.
Yes, it will warm up just in time, and that festival, the parade, is so beautiful. It's all about the light.
all about the lights. The floats don't get in if they're not lit up. So, and some of the people are a little lit up too, but we have a great time. It's all lit. It's the largest nighttime parade in the southeastern United States. And if you haven't been before, you need to come out. You've seen the tape on the sidewalks for the last month or so. People come out. They've got families that go to the same spot every year and they watch the parade. It's a generational thing. We've got grandmothers and sons and daughters and grandchildren, and it's just amazing to watch. It's a great hometown feel, and we want you to come out and experience it with us this year as well.
Absolutely, so much fun, and as Ted mentioned, we'll tell you much more about this massive trailer behind us coming up, so be sure to stay with us. Rob and Jen, back to you.
It is such a great family tradition. If you haven't gone, start this family tradition because the kids love it. It's generational.
And people block off their seats on the sidewalk for weeks. So get down there and enjoy it.
Thank you so much, Steph. We want to feature your nonprofit organization, special fundraising event, or unique attraction or business in our Where's Wink Now segments. Send an email to thismorning@winknews.com and we'll come out, have some fun, and share the good things that are happening with all of Southwest Florida.
And look what's happening with our weather here as we wake up across Southwest Florida. There is a 30 on the board for you this Thursday morning. That's in Lehigh Acres where it says it's 36. Better along the coast. It's even colder tomorrow. 6:27, your next Wink News weather on the ones when we come back.
Live from Southwest Florida's news leader. This is Wink News This Morning.
Welcome back to Wink News This Morning, 6:30 for you now. I'm Rob Spicker.
And I'm Jen Stacy. Thanks so much for getting up early with us. Taking a look at some of our top stories now this morning. Coming up first, though, our biggest story that everyone's talking about, the weather. Big change in the works for us.
You're going to notice it this morning, even more tomorrow. Let's set the day with Wink News meteorologist Joey Sovine.
Yeah, good morning, guys. But before we talk about the bad stuff, check out this beautiful view outside this morning. Crystal clear sky out of our Wink News sky cam. So that's the good side of things this morning. The temperatures, the other side, wind chill advisories in effect through 11 o'clock this morning. Starting to see some temperatures really drop off. Notice feels like temperatures in northern half of the state in the 20s. That is likely what a lot of you will feel like by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. Right now, not too bad in Fort Myers. Temperatures have cooled off from yesterday at this time, but we still have a ways to go. Some inland spots actually dropping into the upper 30s along the coast, hanging in at 50 degrees right now in Fort Myers. So temperatures are chilly, but once again, it will be much colder tomorrow morning as a clear sky is set up across the state, and it's parked over top of us, so we see plenty of sunshine, but cool temperatures. In fact, here's the latest run of our computer model for tomorrow morning. I think it's a little bit too warm with some of these inland spots where you see low to mid 30s. I think we may see a couple spots drop below 30 degrees with widespread temperatures around the freezing mark. Closer to the coast, I think it has it right with temperatures mainly in the mid to upper 30s west of I-75, east of I-75. Big concerns for tomorrow morning with freeze warnings in effect for tonight and tomorrow morning now for all of Southwest Florida. So let's plan things out for today. Bus stop for the kids. It's going to be a chilly one. Temperatures mid 40s to upper 40s by 9 o'clock. And then as we go into this afternoon, not much of a warm up, a breezy and chilly day. Highs only at 60 degrees.
And new information now at 6:32 on our crashes out in Lee County. This one here at Shawnee Road and State Road 82, previously reported in near Daniels. It's just a little bit farther toward the east right now out here in Lehigh Acres. So no word yet on the roadblock or injuries. Looks like deputies just getting out there on scene. But 82, you can see the slowdown already building up here in the westbound direction below 30 miles per hour. So that's not looking too good along 82 for the busy part of the morning drive that we're getting toward right now. Crash out here in South Fort Myers on 41 southbound South Cleveland Avenue and College Parkway, which is also going to be a busy spot in just a bit here. We're told via the Florida Highway Patrol that there is a southbound left turn lane blocked on 41, so that means turning left out here, heading on to College, you're going to be a little bit of a trouble spot out there through this stretch of Fort Myers. Aside from that, the rest of our roadways through Lee County pretty quiet, including 75 and the rest of the highway. Our bridges in and out of the Cape in North Fort Myers looking very quiet right now as well. That's your Wink News traffic. Jen, back to you.
Right now, there's a death investigation underway in Lehigh Acres. This is a live look at the scene in the 100 block of John Avenue South. Lee County deputies say they responded just after 10 Wednesday night. So far, they're not releasing how the person died, but Wink News reporter John Trewiler is pressing deputies right now for answers. He's going to bring you an update coming up in our Wink Wake Up during a live report.
The battle against ISIS and violent extremism is front and center right now globally, and that is a message President Obama will send as he closes the summit on countering terrorist organizations. There's an effort underway to find, quote, root causes of extremism. But as Andrew Spencer explains, people are criticizing the president for his current approach.
President Barack Obama says this week's summit at the White House aims to stop violent extremism before it starts.
This week we are focused on prevention, preventing these groups from radicalizing, recruiting, or inspiring others to violence in the first place.
Critics, though, don't think that approach will work against terror groups such as ISIS.
Blaming it on poverty or whatever other set of circumstances doesn't really address the issue of the brainwashing that's going on with young males in which they're being recruited.
They're recruiting not only from places where people are poor, but also from very rich democratic societies.
Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard says the first step to stopping extremism
is identifying and understanding who they are and what's driving them and executing a simultaneous military and ideological strategy to defeat them.
But President Obama says groups such as ISIS are desperate for legitimacy, trying to portray themselves as holy warriors of Islam.
We must never accept the premise that they put forward, because it is a lie. And we are not at war with Islam. We are at war with people who have perverted Islam.
Andrew Spencer, Wink News This Morning.
6:35 now, and our government is just telling us the U.S. screened about 1,200 Syrian rebels, and they'll take part in a new program to eventually fight against ISIS. All rebel fighters will get training in Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. They'll learn basic military skills. It's going to cost the U.S. about $500 million to train some 5,000 rebels over the next year. Today, we should find out more about the man who's accused of killing the country's most lethal military sniper. The attorneys for Eddie Routh are expected to keep calling his family and friends up to the stand, testifying in the Texas courtroom about his behavior before and after Chris Kyle's death in 2013. Routh is facing a capital murder charge, and his lawyers are using an insanity defense. But prosecutors say Routh's mental state should not prevent him from being held accountable.
On New this morning, we're bringing you some new video of a touching honor for former University of Nevada, Las Vegas basketball coach Jerry Tarkanian. While you were sleeping, the Las Vegas Strip dimmed all of their lights for 3 minutes. The coach passed away earlier this month. Very fitting honor, very nice. A hospital is on edge this morning after 200 people were exposed to a superbug. UCLA says that 7 patients were infected by the drug-resistant bug, which came from the contaminated medical supplies being used there. Other CRE outbreaks have been reported across the country. UCLA says that the patients were infected during endoscopic procedures late last year.
Well, Jail, Jail, Baby could be the new title of Vanilla Ice's next album. Police have taken that rapper into custody. And we've just gotten Vanilla Ice's booking photo only a few hours ago for you. There it is. Palm Beach County deputies arrested Ice. His real name is Robert Van Winkle. He allegedly broke into and stole things from an abandoned home. He is charged with burglary and grand theft. Officials are saying Vanilla Ice took a pool heater, bike, and some furniture from a foreclosed home. And now, from vanilla to chocolate, Nestle is going to change its ways and remove artificial flavors and colors. And it's expected to happen by the end of the year. And if it does, Nestle says it would be the first major candy maker to go all natural. The iconic Crunch and Butterfinger bars, just some of the affected candies. Nestle says you should not be able to tell a difference.
As long as they don't mess with the taste.
Coke thought that about New Coke, too.
Well, that's true. Let's see how it goes. On New at 6:37. Okay, take a look at this Wheel of Fortune board. Look at your screen. The category is event. Could you solve it with just the letter T?
I don't know. There's 16 empty spaces around the T.
I'm terrible at this anyways, despite what I do for a living. I'm horrible at this.
I don't have it.
I give up. Okay, so lucky for us, one man actually was able to solve this. Here's the answer.
Championship match.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Wow.
Really?
He nailed the phrase there. Fortune on the Wheel of Fortune final round. Pretty excited and shocked the contestant is too, with all that applause from the crowd and his fellow competitors. Wheel of Fortune host Pat Chajak right over there to congratulate the lucky winner. He gets $7,100 by the end of the show.
He was confident too, as if it was like, oh, of course, it's championship match.
How did you not know? Because that's what we always call them too, is a championship match.
Of course. Man, that guy's incredible.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Good for him. It is 6:38. You are watching Wink News This Morning.
Wink weather on the ones.
Wanna be the one you run to the shoulder. I ain't a soldier, but I'm here to take a stand because we can.
It is 6:41 on your Thursday. A little chillier out there this morning. Going to be even colder tomorrow. My husband just texted me and said, "Where is our son's coat?" Oops, I left it at school.
Where is it, or does he have one?
Right, around here.
He has one, and that's the problem. Literally one, and it's at school.
If they leave them at
Sorry,
school,
Austin.
and usually it's warm enough in the afternoon that they forget them at school.
Right. Yeah.
And then we have to make sure they bring them home today.
He's going to need it tomorrow.
They'll need them tomorrow morning. It's beautiful, but it's chilly, and it's going to get much, much worse. If you don't like cold weather here in Southwest Florida, just hang in there. First view out of Fort Myers. This is out of Fort Myers Beach. Our Wink News Sanibel Harbor Marriott Sky Cam. Clear sky. It's those clear sky mornings that you have to watch out for behind the cold fronts that lead to some chilly temperatures, and that's why we have a wind chill advisory in effect as the wind is still up a little bit, especially along the coast this morning. Now, taking a look at the feels like temperatures, no one's dipped down into the mid-30s, and that's the threshold for those advisories, so that's good news so far this morning. But that colder shot of air, the coldest air, has not arrived yet. That will happen later this morning into this afternoon, and that won't allow these temperatures to warm up much. Here's the temperatures without the wind factored in, now down to 38 in Lehigh Acres. I've seen some isolated spots out of Charlotte, also Collier, Lee County, and even into Highlands, Glades, DeSoto County as well, along with Hendry County. All of our counties now showing some spotty areas of temperatures in the 30s, and I think those 30s in those backyards may be traded in for some upper 20s by tomorrow morning. Notice how calm the wind is inland. Along the coast, it stayed up, and it's been a bit onshore this morning, and with those warmer Gulf of Mexico water temperatures, that's kept us up along the coast out of the 30s for one more morning. But tomorrow morning, notice the wind direction is more offshore, and it will be light, so that will keep our temperatures and allow them to drop off in our coldest morning coming tomorrow morning. Look at the hard freeze and freeze warnings up all across the state. This is tonight into tomorrow morning. The freeze warning goes into effect at 1 o'clock tomorrow morning, goes through 9 o'clock, and especially concerned about inland areas along and east of I-75 for the potential of those temperatures dropping down to or below freezing for at least an hour or two come tomorrow morning. Today's story, sunshine but chilly temperatures. Only 56 for a high temperature in Arcadia, 59 in Cape Coral. Average high temperature in Fort Myers, 78 degrees. Only 60 this afternoon with 61 out of Naples. And tomorrow morning, that's our coldest morning. Look at that in Arcadia, 29 degrees, the forecast morning low, 31 Lehigh Acres, Golden Gate, 35. Notice closer to the coast, it will be a little bit warmer. I think we stay above freezing at the coast all the way out to the beaches, but still a chilly start to our Friday with record low temperatures possible in Fort Myers and in Naples. The warm-up starts a little bit tomorrow afternoon. More so Saturday into Sunday, a gorgeous warm weekend. Hard to believe that. High temperature Sunday afternoon at 83 degrees.
And checking in hotspot on I-75 right now at 6:45. This spot's been busy all morning long through the overnight commute even as we've had construction out here heading on northbound 75. You see cars making their way over into the left lane as we're waiting for this construction to clear out here at the 154-mile marker just south of Tucker's Grade Road heading northbound on 75. So this stretch just north of the Lee-Charlotte County line heading toward Tucker's Grade to mile marker 157. Still have that right lane blocked off. 41 very clear if you'd like to take that as your alternate highway up into Charlotte County right now. In South Fort Myers, we've got a crash we're still watching out here. Looks like LCSO is heading out there as well, the Lee County Sheriff's Office. So slight delays along the stretch of 41 with roadblock in that left turn lane on southbound 41. We've got more construction in Naples. We'll get to that just about 10 minutes. That's your Wink News traffic.
6:46 right now, time for the Wink Wake Up, which is all you need to know before you go. And just coming off the Wink wires, within the last 2 hours, we have learned that more than 90% of Ukraine's military has moved away from the Russian border. They started to leave after weeks of heavy fighting with the pro-Russian separatists and their recent ceasefire deal.
We are just getting some word of an alert for those with peanut allergies. Hundreds of products are flying off the shelves after traces of peanuts were found in the spice cumin. The recall has been going on since December. The FDA says anyone with peanut allergies should steer clear of the spice, all cumin products for right now. First phase complete. That's what construction crews at the Washington National Cathedral are now saying. They just finished part of that work to fix damage from the 2011 earthquake. However, the church does have to raise $22 million to repair the outside. The Episcopal Cathedral in Washington, D.C. suffered about $32 million in damage from the 5.8 quake.
And today, the USPS and its employees hope they can reach some middle ground about a new contract. The American Postal Workers Union representatives meet with USPS managers. The first round of talks to focus on pay, benefits, retirement, and customer service. The current postal workers contract expires on May the 20th.
Our Wink Wake Up continues now. Some events to help you plan your day. Parents, mark your calendars. Today you can speak out about the numerous amount of tests that your kids are given every year. At 5:30 this evening, there's going to be a discussion about high-stakes testing, options for student promotion, and the option to refuse. This comes as nearly 2,000 high school students still have not completed the requirement of passing the FCAT to earn a high school diploma. The high-stakes testing talk will be at the Housing Authority of the City of Fort Myers on Renaissance Preserve Way.
Also today, legendary football coach Lou Holtz is in Naples. Holtz delivers the keynote speech at Ave Maria's 4th annual scholarship dinner. The event will get started at 6 o'clock this evening at the Ritz-Carlton in Naples. Holtz tells us he's going to speak with the student athletes, their parents, and coaches about leadership and student-athlete responsibility in competition and in the community.
Now at 6, Fort Myers is gearing up for one of the biggest parties and parades of the year. In just a few days, the historic downtown area will be filled with community spirit. And today, Wink News is getting a preview of the Edison Festival of Light Parade. So where's Wink now? Wink News reporter Stephanie Susskind is live with all of the details, bundled up and having a good time. Good morning.
Good morning, Jen. Bundled up indeed, but the good news, it should be a beautiful weekend for the Edison Festival of Light, especially the parade. That is Saturday night at 7 o'clock. You don't want to miss it. But right now, I want to show you something really cool. It's brand new, the first time it's in Fort Myers and for the festival weekend. Take a look at this exhibit behind me. We're going to learn much more about it in just a few minutes, but this is a very special 9/11 Never Forget Memorial exhibit. It's a partnership between the festival and Sam Galloway Ford, which is where we are right now. And this exhibit, it's still being set up right now. It officially opens at 10 o'clock this morning, and you can actually walk through this trailer, and it's a full exhibit and dedication to those who lost their lives on 9/11. This will be here at Sam Galloway Ford all day today. You can come and check it out for free. Then it will actually move to the Harborside Event Center for the next couple of days. So while you're downtown experiencing everything that the Edison Festival of Light has to offer between the craft parade, the parade itself Saturday night, you can also check out this exhibit. Be sure to stay with us as we make the switch to WXCW. Jen and Rob will have much more on this very exciting exhibit.
6:49, and now let's continue the Wink Wake Up with what's trending on the web for you this morning.
One of the biggest rivalries in college history, Duke and UNC.
Not there, long rebound. And we are going to overtime.
With the score tied at 81, the Blue Devils and Tar Heels take the court into OT. Duke's Jahil Okafor comes under with a layup to take the lead, 90-89. With 4 seconds left, UNC inbounds the ball, but Duke fouls intentionally, sending the Tar Heels to the line. The first shot is good, second, a no-go. Duke gets the rebound and wins 92-90. This is the 9th win for Duke in 12 meetings with UNC.
Wow.
That is a big rivalry.
Wow, good game, my gosh.
It's getting us excited for March Madness.
Yeah,
already,
almost.
Right? There we go. Well, more people may be flocking to Florida, apparently. All over Facebook this morning, you'll see Siesta Beach.
Yeah, the white sandy beach near Sarasota is #1 on TripAdvisor's best beach in the entire country, moving up 2 spots from last year.
Now, TripAdvisor takes into account the quality of its readers. Florida has 9 of the top 25 beaches. Siesta Beach, also the only one in the U.S. on TripAdvisor's global rankings. Fort Myers Beach comes in at number 18.
Ah.
Some good beaches there.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can enjoy them come Saturday.
Saturday and Sunday, so we just have to get through the work week. Some chilly mornings on the way, coldest morning tomorrow morning. Let's get a look at your weather on the One's Live View, Wink News Sky Cam. Outside, clear sky start, beautiful day. That's not the issue, plenty of sunshine, but with a clear sky and chilly temperatures, we are going to be dealing with the potential of a frost and freeze come tomorrow morning. Notice some inland spots. Lehigh Acres right now at 38 degrees. I've seen a couple of 30-degree ratings. In fact, had a Facebook viewer out of Arcadia, one of our Wink News viewers, reporting it at 34 degrees. Cindy, thank you so much for updating on that. Tomorrow morning will be even colder, closer to the coast right now, generally around 50 degrees, but your temperatures will be in the upper 30s to around 40 all the way out to the beaches tomorrow. Notice the lack of warmth all day long today. Yes, this is not a typo. Only 55 at lunchtime. We should be in the mid to upper 70s for highs. We struggle to reach 60 today, and then our cold morning tomorrow morning. I'll have more details on that coming up in less than 5 minutes. Grace.
Thank you. And checking out your roadways one more time now before we head towards 7 o'clock. And we're getting busy out there. You see the delays building up on 41, where we still have construction going on in North Naples along this stretch of Tamiami Trail southbound just before Immokalee Road. A right lane southbound is still closed off. That's causing these delays. You see the orange out here below the 30-mile-per-hour mark. So not great speeds on that stretch of 41 from Old 41 Road down through North Naples toward Immokalee Road. The rest of Collier County getting a little busier. Collier Boulevard especially right now. Crash we're still watching here at South Cleveland Avenue and College Parkway with some roadblock out here on 41 southbound. Aside from that, the rest of the highway very quiet this morning. The interstate nice and clear. That's your Wake News traffic. Jen and Rob, back to you guys.
As we're heading out the door, we want to update some of our top stories of the day for you.
Right now, we know that one person is dead, and Wake News is trying to find out more details of how it happened. Wake News reporter John Trewiler live in Lehigh Acres, where Lee County deputies have a death investigation underway. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Rob and Jim. We are here in the 100 block of John Avenue South in Lehigh Acres. Now the daylight's coming up. Take a little look behind us so you can see this entire section of road still taped off out here in Lehigh Acres. You can see down there that crime scene unit van as they continue to investigate what exactly happened here overnight. This all began around 10 o'clock last night for originally a suspicious person call. When deputies arrived out here, that's when they ended up noticing this would be a death investigation and turned this over to the major crime scene unit. Detectives have been out here throughout the night. They'll be here through much of the day today investigating. As soon as we learn more on exactly what happened, we'll of course bring it to you. Deputies also asking for the public's help this morning. If you saw anything last night around 10 o'clock, give them a call at 1-800-780-TIPS. We are live in Lehigh Acres today. John Trewiler, Wink News this morning.
Today, a bitter and below freezing cold is moving across the U.S. Here in Southwest Florida, we're under a freeze warning until tomorrow at 9 a.m.
The wind chills advisories go as far south as the Florida, where they could make it feel like the mid-20s. This is all part of another winter storm that's got more snow for the Midwest and Northeast in it. Up in the mid-Atlantic states, temperatures are looking to be 15 to 40 degrees below average for the next 2 days. Stopping violent extremism before it starts is the goal of the summit ongoing at the White House. President Obama and lawmakers are trying to focus on the root causes of extremism and then preventing people from radicalizing, recruiting, and inspiring others. As ISIS is spreading its reach, the president wants to push for an international response beyond military intervention. The president says airstrikes hurt some militants, but not the underlying ideas.
Florida's former governor is gaining popularity. A new CBS News poll put 62-year-old Jeb Bush on top of all 2016 presidential contenders. 49% of Republicans say they would vote for him if he ran. Support for Bush comes after he delivered his first major foreign policy speech. He focused on mistakes he believes previous administrations made, including his brother's, but says he will bring his own ideas to the White House if he wins.
All of our kids may get a break from the multitude of tests they have to take while in class.
Governor Rick Scott admits there is just too much testing.
Some of that was caused by things that we did at the state level, some things at the district level.
The governor's first step is to suspend a test 11th graders take this spring ahead of a Florida legislature vote fully eliminating it from the standardized test schedule. The push comes after an investigation into standardized testing. Meanwhile, the state education commissioner also wants to eliminate final exams in classes that also require a statewide end-of-course exam.
Well, a lot will depend on what the legislature does once they're in session.
It'll be a big difference for our kids, no
yes,
doubt.
It will. It is 6:55, and Wake News This Morning. We'll be right back checking on your weather.
All right, this is not Chamber of Commerce weather. That comes this weekend. This morning, a chilly start, but it gets colder. Freeze warning in effect for all of Southwest Florida. That's for tomorrow morning. Many inland spots will dip to or below freezing. Yikes, but good things is we fix it. Chamber of Commerce weather this weekend, 83 by Sunday.
Just in time. Yeah. Thanks for watching Week News This Morning. More local news on WXCW.
Making that switch in 1 second. See you there.